the moment I do this if my internet connection is like, no. All right, so here we are, finally back in Housden. Last time we were together, the group was making the final preparations on their plans to save Kaitlyn, and maybe that'll actually happen tonight. We'll see. Last we had seen of Kaitlyn, she had been working really hard to keep her homeless friend Bud from losing his mind as he was under some sort of psychic assault. And due to her prayer and vigilance and comfort, that seems to have kept him from crossing over the edge. About which point, a bunch of men clad in white, what are those called? Coral robes. There's a word for them. Came in and grabbed both of them, and also grabbed this big rock-like object that they put into an ark and carried down the hall after them. Meanwhile, last we had seen of Sela, she had gone and gotten a wooden dagger that was carried by Friar Domingo, a famous vampire hunter back in the day, that she borrowed from the Archdiocese of Houston. And yeah, borrowed. And then and she what else? There was something else. You stole a bejeweled crucifix. And then meanwhile, Kit had gone. Yeah. Kit had gone and collected a bunch of anti-vampire building materials such as stakes and garlic and whatnot, and he had cleverly parked his car in a nearby alley. And Gideon had gone back in time to investigate this marble rock that kept appearing in his path and causing him to trip up. And it brought him to a weird sequence inside a mausoleum belonging to what was his name? Suddenly escapes me. Belonging to Yunin Kaspar.
Yes, I did have that written down actually.
And then he went, and after finishing that ritual, he went and tried to see if he could scout ahead in the already but not yet, and see what was going to happen in the Glenwood Cemetery as they go to rescue Kaitlyn at 4:00 today. And upon arriving in the already but not yet, things began to get a little strange. And instead of seeing, after a short stint around the time frame he was looking at, all of a sudden it became dark, and the cemetery was flooded with moonlight. And a mist fiend started to do battle with Gideon, and as well as a bunch of fairies, which Kit, who had done no sleeping and was afraid that he was hallucinating, also saw these fairies crossing the weird lot he was in and going behind a dumpster. And Kit followed them, and there was nothing there, and he found a portal into the same cemetery that Gideon was in. And he and Gideon fought with the Mist Fiend and the Fays, and they eventually both decided to turn tail and ran because the Mist Fiend was just mowing over everything and absorbing all the life of everything it touched. And that is, I believe, where we left off. So now the group has finally come together. It is 4 p.m. in the designated time and place, and everyone has arrived. You're just across from the main entrance of Glenwood Cemetery. The Sarah Rosevity's bodyguard is here.
What's his name again? I've forgotten.
His name is Nelson Nkoma.
Nkoma.
So, Mr. Nkoma is here. He's a big, intimidating fellow. He always dresses in a suit, and which broadens even more so his shoulders with the little pads and everything on it. He's a very large man and a very intimidating man in general. But for now, he is on y'all's side. He has agreed to meet here and help fight the Black Court in order to rescue Kaitlyn. Apparently, the Collector has an interest in seeing Kaitlyn brought out successfully so that she can be brought to a meeting at the Discovery Green where apparently events are going on with the Wild Fae out there. So y'all are outside Glenwood Cemetery, and the plan is for Sela to bring in the artifact that she stole from the museum that kicked off all of this mayhem and misadventure. The museum heist was where Kaitlyn was nabbed by the Black Court in the first place. Nelson believes that the Black Court are the ones who stole the similar artifact that Kit had in the homeless shelter. And he claims the Black Court actually have the real artifact, but they don't realize the museum artifact's a fake. So they're currently afraid to use the real one for fear that it is a fake, since there's a duplicate artifact that Sela stole from the museum. And they hired Sela to take that duplicate artifact, so it's an easy way into the cemetery without having to fight your way in.
So yeah, let's do it. Sela was sure to retrieve the artifact, which may be a little disturbing to Kit, but she was sure to retrieve.
Disturbed by so many other things at the moment. I'm not sure that he particularly cared. I mean, he did throw a garlic-covered baseball at the mist, and then it looked at him, and he skedaddled. So,
Garlic
worried about Kayla. Yeah. Well, he had minced garlic in a baseball with the bats that he had.
Okay. I mean, I like that thinking. That's good.
Yep.
Outside the box.
He's pretty sure vampires are real. It's been a rough day.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on that train. That's a good thing. All right. So yeah, Sela was sure to go back to Uncommon Ground and retrieve the real fake artifact. Whatever. So she has that on her person. And she's also got the other things, the other items with her. Not, necessarily, she's not like wearing this giant bejeweled crucifix like out and about, but she's wearing it underneath her clothing so that it's accessible. She's keeping that close. And the dagger. So, yep, let's do it.
So Nelson says, all right, should I go in with you? And then we
probably not
find a way to get the rest of them in later?
Let's just all go in. Like, let me go first. Y'all just walk behind me. Like, keep back about 10 feet. But, like,
can I walk behind in coma? Like,
yeah.
Literally behind him?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
They're expecting me, so I'll go first, and I'll just tell them that you're all with me.
Do you normally have an entourage?
Well, I don't normally deal with Black Court vampires, so no.
I'm sure nobody was ever expected in the Neaton.
Yeah. So
puffs out his chest all bodyguard-like. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, you guys are my protection. Thanks, Kit.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Oh.
Don't do it. Don't get twitchy.
Now, as I recall, we spent some time collecting various things that would be classic vampire killing stuff. I know we got that steak. We got their stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Like garlic and.
I got 3 jars of minced garlic here.
Cool. So I would definitely if you guys are bringing that stuff in, let's keep it a little bit concealed. Maybe walk up with hi, I'm bringing tons of garlic. By the way, hey, do you want to check this out, Gideon? And she shows you the artifact knife thing, the wooden knife.
Okay.
And I picked up something nice just for me too. And she shows the little bejeweled crucifix. She's pretty proud. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty great, Sela.
Thanks.
That should come in handy.
Yeah, but
I hope we don't have to use it, but
yeah, apparently this knife was famous or something. I don't know. The guy at the church said some stuff. What's your butler's name? He had some thoughts.
Oh yeah, what's my butler's name?
He's super religious and very helpful.
Manfred. Manfred is Gideon's
Thank
main Man
See.
Friday.
See, that's right.
Manfred. I love Manfred. Okay, so let's go. She'll just
All right.
start strutting in there like she's not even.
Let's see. All of that. I guess I'm trying to think of if there's anything I should do before we go in.
I think Kit was going to ask he's asking Sela, hey, is there anything you can do about this backpack full of stuff I have with your little wavy hands?
Oh, now you want the wavy hand treatment. I see how it is. Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with it being in a backpack? Like what?
Well, the backpack's just full of baseballs and minced garlic and steaks and things, and I just prefer they not check it.
I don't think they're going to do a baggage check, but if they do, I'll be sure to be standing close enough to you so that it's okay. Thanks for the heads up.
Awesome.
All right, so y'all cross the street, and there is a little guard sitting in a little air-conditioned guard booth. And he rolls down he opens up the little window, and he's like, got a clipboard. He says, name, business.
Sela, Nunya.
He seems a little unamused. He gives you a look, and he's like, I don't see you on the list.
I'm Sela Gillette. I don't need to be on the list.
I am the list.
Seriously.
All right, and which grave are you visiting?
Oh, he's an actual guard. He makes something up. So Sela turns on the charm and like, oh, my dearly departed grandfather is in plot 645. Just over there under the tree, and she points in a general direction. Plausible direction. Is that a deceit roll?
Yep.
Okay, because I thought this guy was a vampire guard, not a human guard.
No, it's 4 in the afternoon.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Bring on. I need my fudge dice roller because I am actually. Alrighty. Even better. That's a +3.
Okay. He says, hold on a moment, and he calls. He starts making a call on the telephone.
So, can I assume she failed?
And you hear him talking. He's like, I've got a lady here. She's coming to visit plot 645. And I know in general we're not letting people in, but it seems legit to me. And then there's this pause, and he's like, well, yes, sir. Yeah, well, Sela Gillette, he says. Like, yes, sir. No problem. Right away, sir. And he hangs up the phone. He says, all right, if you'll just report into the main office. He points out the way. It's down around a little driveway, and you can kind of see the building off around through the corner.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And he raises the little gate by pressing a button.
So we go through.
Packages on the move.
Note to
So Sela's
self.
walking, and
Next
Coma's
time.
walking about 10 feet behind her, and Gideon's right behind Coma.
I think Kit's like shoulder to shoulder with Encoma. Like
He's like
doing
constantly trying to make sure.
he's kind of looking over, and like making himself as big as possible. Just feeling important.
Sela winks at Kit and gives him a little boost. Like, just a little.
Nailed it.
So he feels better about himself, confident.
He looks down, and his shoulders just seem broader.
Yeah. He's like, man, I've been working out.
As you
Because
guys,
magically his shoulders do look broader, right?
yeah. As you guys walk towards the office building, you can hear this cacophony of dogs barking coming from the other side, and some of it's snarling and fighting. It seems like, but you can't really see any of them. You can kind of see some chain link fence where peeking around the corner where you think they might be, but you can't really see them. But you certainly hear them. And Gideon, when he had scouted out the way, had sort of decided that those were probably dark hounds that were hanging out in the cages out back.
I did something to mess with him, didn't I? While I was, or was that just in the Never Never that happened?
You were starting to enact that plan when you got interrupted.
Okay.
And then when you open the door, and there's a little office greeting desk, and there's a young, looks like even a teenage girl that's sitting behind as the receptionist. She's got long blonde hair, and she's looking on her phone, probably Instagram or Snapchat or something.
Is this a are there windows in this room? Is it light?
Yeah, there's a couple small windows on either side.
How goth does she look?
Not very.
Not very. She looks more like a tennis player.
Can I get a first impression? Like, can you kind of smell the other world on somebody? Is that a thing you can do? If you recognize.
Sometimes you can run a lore check.
Yeah.
Could I run the lore check to kind of see how she's doing?
Yeah, you can file in.
I mean, just get an impression of the.
Yeah.
Some I saw her. So that's +5 for me.
I got a +3, so if I can boost his roll in some way.
So for all practical purposes, she seems pretty normal. She's messing with the phone, so she's probably not a wizard or anything. She doesn't look undead.
Go ahead.
You get a profound sense that she is incredibly bored and otherwise disaffected with life.
Got it. She's just a teenager with a crappy summer job. We are here to see. What is the name?
You see she's got a name tag on, and it says Athena.
Okay, so what is the name of the person who hired me?
The steward hired you.
The steward. Okay. Is there another contact name that I would have, or is that just all I got?
I think that's his name, right?
Yeah, he's generally known just as the steward.
Okay. Hi, Athena.
She kind of looks up. She's like, "Hi, can I help you or something?"
I'm Sela. I think I'm expected.
And she says, "Are you here for the big convocation or something?"
Yes.
She's like,
I mean,
I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Yeah, I was invited specially. I'm bringing like a potluck thing,
She like looks up from her phone. She looks around and she says, I don't see a dish.
I believe the steward would like to speak to me.
Don't question your elders. Just do what you're told.
Comes a voice from behind Nelson.
You like buzz me through or something? Is that the I'm not really used to the protocol here. Kind of new.
She says, yeah, whatever. My dad gets real mad whenever I don't follow the protocol here, so I don't really care. She kind of looks around and does a big sigh.
So your dad gets real mad when you don't follow protocol, but there's a way to not follow protocol, because I don't know, maybe you're like me. I really like protocol.
She says, "Yeah, but they're having the big thing today, so I don't feel like it's. I wish I could be down there with it, but
It's so stuffy. I mean, why don't you just come with me? Why don't you walk me down, and then you could be involved?
My dad will kill me.
Probably not.
I don't know, maybe sometimes. Anyway, so if you're here for the steward, what is it that you're doing?"
He invited me. I'm not sure.
She goes, she kind of looks at you for a moment. She's like, checks you up and down. She seems confused, and then she goes, "Oh, oh, oh, okay. Hold on one second."
So wait, the OO. Do I need to make a? Does she think I look like dinner, or does she recognize who I am?
No, it wasn't that she knows who you are.
It
It
was
seems
not.
like It seems like she suddenly realized why the steward might have invited you.
And she was probably incorrect about that. Yeah, but okay, that's fine. I'm glad.
But it's certainly a tad bit unsettling.
Yeah.
Can I roll alertness? Will that help?
No.
And so she comes. She goes. Yeah, she goes around a corner and she comes back. And following behind her are several of these white-clothed, white-robed men that come in, and they look you over, and then they look more interested at the guys behind you, and the lead guy says, "Who's this?"
They're with me.
Says, "There's no reason for anybody to be with you."
They don't come. I don't come. You don't get your stuff. So, them's the breaks. I'll walk.
He says, "Do you have it?"
Of course I have it. Why would I be here if I didn't have it?
He says, "Let's see it."
Not here.
We're not talking to the steward right now, right?
No, we're not.
No.
I'm not showing you anything, Jack. I know how this works. You're not my client.
He says, "Do y'all have any weapons?"
No.
"Do you consent to a search?"
No.
All right, I'm going to need you to leave any sort of weapons as well as any sort of wooden objects and food items here in the main office.
Those are some pretty strange requests.
It's a good thing I didn't bring any food items or weapons or wooden objects.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was a potluck.
He doesn't. He says, "You know, these are just the policies we have here at the Pure Legacy funeral home. We like to keep things clean back there, and out of respect for our patrons."
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we're not here for that. But yes, I'm sure we'll leave everything that we might have brought. You know, all of our wooden stakes or whatever. We'll be sure to leave in the front room. Okay. Take us on back.
All right. So he waits to see. He just sort of looks, and it's like he's waiting to see y'all disarm yourselves. Finally, Nelson sighs and rolls his eye, and he pulls out his Desert Eagle, and he sets it right behind the front desk, right in front of Athena, and her eyes kind of get wide.
I open up my coat, like shocked, and make a big deal of pulling out a toothpick. And I put it on the desk next to the Desert Eagle, solemnly, and then I nod right at the guy who was like, "These are our policies." It's like, "Got you, fam."
Kit pulls out 2 mints, puts the food items on the counter.
I pick one of them up, put it in my mouth.
The guy says, I'm gonna need to look in your backpack, sir."
I don't have a backpack.
And he doesn't.
He looks at Sela.
He doesn't have a backpack.
The guy kind of blinks for a second, and then
I know my shoulders are really big and massive, and it can look that way, but it's just a genetic hump that accompanied
There's
the
no.
workout.
You look fine.
all right.
Thank you.
Give me
You keep
your
saying that.
give
I'm
me
self-conscious about it.
give me your deception roll on your veil, Sealer.
That is a +6.
All right. So the guy looks a little concerned, but he kind of walks around Kit a few times, and he's like, "All right." And then finally we get to Gideon, and the guy's like, "Sir, your cane."
You're not
Is
going to take this.
not made of wood, and I needed to walk, so you can't have it.
He picks up Encoma's gun, and he kind of wraps it against the cane, and it tings in a metallic thing, and he's like, "And give me a deception check."
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think deception is one of my.
I think you got +1.
Oh yeah, I actually probably do have some deception, don't I? Oh no, there we go. I got
No.
2. 0. I just have an honest face.
And you technically didn't tell a lie.
All right.
And by honest face, I mean I have a really hard time lying, apparently.
Not one of your skills.
So while he's doing that, he noticed he notices the wooden dagger, and
How does he notice the wooden dagger?
well, as he's leaning in there, he sees it's tucked in behind Gideon's belt.
It's concealed on my person
No, you handed it off to Gideon.
to look at, and then he gave it back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't hold on to it.
That
Yes.
must have happened while my mother was in here distracting me.
It was implied, at the very least.
All right. Well, then you're good.
She said look at it, and everybody knows when you say look, it's not for keeps.
True story.
Yeah. It's just for looks, not for keeps.
All right. So he lets you by, and y'all these guys sort of escort you. He leads in the front, and the other 3 follow up behind.
I don't like that. Why don't you all stay in the front?
And he says, "Come on this way." And they start heading down, and he goes down the hall. He turns a corner, turns another corner, and comes to a door. Opens that door up, and there's steps leading down. And he says, "Down this way," and he props the door open with the kickstand, starts heading down the steps. It immediately has more of a basement type feel. The walls go from being made with your typical tape and float type. What is suddenly my mind's lost?
Sheetrock.
Yeah, sheetrock. Instead of your typical sheetrock, it immediately goes to cinder blocks, and then from there it goes to concrete. And so y'all basically walking in a concrete enclosed space when you get to the bottom of the stairs, and there's pipes and stuff, and it's very much like seems like part of the steam tunnel system. And he starts taking y'all down, and y'all wind a little bit of ways. There's another doorway that opens, and it's a metal door. It has a number pad on it, and he hits in a little code, and it unlocks.
This is the code.
And then after it unlocks, he opens it, and immediately on the inside there's another number pad. He hits a different code on that one, closes the door, hits a third number code, opens the door again, and then walks in. Y'all come around to another room, and there's a plywood. There's some plywood leaning against the wall, and he walks up and he knocks the plywood over to where it's on the floor, and he walks across.
But he touches the plywood.
And as you guys all cross over that little section, when the last guy comes, he lifts the plywood back up and leans it against the wall. And then there's another space, and you come around the corner, and this one actually has a tile floor. And it's checkered black and white tiles. And he says, watch your step. And then you notice that he only steps on the black tiles.
Of course.
And he finally curves to another hallway. The whole tunnel slowly rounds about. It seems the whole time like you guys have been going. This passage in particular is slowly going further down. And finally, he says, finally you come to double wooden doors. And they look kind of out of place. They don't look like the kind of doors that would be down in the subterranean vault. They look more like doors that would be in a cathedral. And he opens the door up, and immediately behind it, you can immediately hear the sound and chatter of a lot of voices in a large room.
What kind of wood is it?
Seems pretty sturdy. It's definitely not hollow.
We may have not run past it, but Kit was definitely keeping an eye out throughout the walk for any places they might be holding Kaitlyn.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, as you're walking along, there was every once in a while y'all would pass doors, but most of them were metallic storm door type things. A few of them were more like sewer doors, or like ones that could seal, basically. And so any number of which could have possibly held Kaitlyn, but it would be real easy to it seems it's almost maze-like down here. If you weren't following him, it'd be really easy to go through a couple doors and lose track of which hallways you were in. Because it seems like half the time when y'all would go through a set of doors, it would go to a different set of hallways.
Do I think that that's kind of a unusual, like a supernatural situation? Like maybe these are not just doors?
No, you feel like this is just a really vast subterranean complex. It's very much in line with what Kit found out at the city planner's office.
And Kit still has the map from the city planner's office, doesn't he?
Yes.
Of these tunnels?
It's not of these tunnels. It's of the upper structures.
Okay. I thought that he got the underside of the structure too.
No, the what was on the map did not seem to reflect the amount of materials actually used, and
right.
A lot of where you're at now is stuff that wasn't on the map, but it explains the situation.
Yep.
You noticed, Kit, as you're walking along, there was one door that somebody was walking into as right before you guys start to pass by, and so the door was still closing, and inside you could see a couple of young men kind of sitting there, and there was basically a wall full of guns along the wall there, just a rack, and it just was several AR-15 type rifles that were just up on the wall, and one of the guys was sitting, and he was like at a table disassembling one and cleaning it. So y'all have wandered in, and y'all been guided into these two double cathedral type doors, and as they open, you're immediately hit with the sound of all these voices murmuring in a large room. And as you come in, the air is cooler in here than some in the steam tunnels. It wasn't warm by any means, but there's a perceptible coolness in this room. The room is very large, almost like a cathedral. The ceiling goes up and then domes around. It seems more that it's made of rock in this room than really the cement, although there is some concrete type arches that are going and holding the ceiling up, and also along the base of the walls, holding the side walls together. This room is absolutely full of youthful looking and people in all these white robes, and they're kind of murmuring with one another.
Great.
At the far end, there is a raised dais, and on this dais there is a wooden box with two poles going out of it. And behind this dais, there is some steps leading up to an empty concrete throne that's got all this sort of Gothic type designs carved into it. And then along the wall behind that is a series of chains that are metal shackles and manacles that are bolted into the wall every 5 feet. And connected to the chain on the left side is Bud, the homeless guy that Kit recognizes. And connected to the shackle on the right end is Kaitlyn.
Hi, Kaitlyn.
Okay.
Are the poles coming out of the wooden structure wood themselves?
No, they seem to be metal.
Is Kaitlyn conscious?
Yes, you were brought into this room. If you had tried the entire time to get the men that were bringing you here to speak to you, and they never said a word, you were surprised to find this many people, also dressed the same as them down here. It's actually put you quite on edge because they're dressed in these coral type robes.
Like vestments? Like
Yeah, like this was a vocabulary word on my vocabulary list, and I've lost it. I did not learn it well. Where is my list? But yeah, like just basically the long, loose-fitting robes with large openings for the arms, and it's all white. All of it's this really bleach colored white. I'm sorry?
cassock. That sounds right.
Yes.
Cassock. Yeah.
And then here we go. Words I'm learning. And so but it's been weird because it's like you're in a church room, but you're not.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. And so the dissonance between those two feelings, how wrong everything feels, and then yet how familiar you feel like it should feel, it's caused you a lot of distress, aside from the fact that they, then change you
I was
up
going
against
to say
the wall here.
more distress than I'm already feeling.
Right.
I was at like a 10. Now I'm like at a 15.
Guys, this
on a scale of 10.
Maybe more upset, maybe less. There is a website called clergymart.com. They sell cassocks.
That
That's
makes
awesome.
sense.
Is it in Houston? It's where all these came from?
I sent you a link. It's in the chat.
Oh.
Clergy Mart. Shop smart. Shop Clergy Mart. Doesn't work.
So can Kaitlyn, like, obviously she's bound, but is she gagged?
No, and she also, when the door opens, it makes a bit of a booming sound, and so she looked up and she noticed, and you could see Kit come in.
Get out of here! What are you doing? Get out of here! Okay.
So there's some silent communication there, and now
Yeah, some eye contact and like, ah.
Spooky. All right. Neela's just gonna wait. Just because I missed last session, can we just have an out of character? What's the plan here again?
The
To rescue
plan
me.
is to hand over a fake seed artifact and get Kaitlyn. Well, it was going to be a jar of coins.
No, I still have that. Oh no, you buried that.
Did I bury that?
Yeah. You stole it and buried it after we brought that weird lady from her house.
No.
You felt like you
there is a sack of something, I don't remember what, from the kitchen that looked like a seed object that is in the weird lady's house. But after that, you took a donation charity thing and turned it into a seed artifact to convince Kit that we can just give the fake one.
The sack of something is the thing that I have. You never took that. You didn't find it. Unless you found it in a session that I was not attending.
There was one that you gave him. That one is gone.
Yeah.
But there was...
Okay.
You created a third one to convince Kit that we could just deal with Nelson and the Collector, and that's the artifact that we were going to give.
Because that's the plastic dinosaur. I remember.
Okay.
Surplice.
Surplice.
These kind of ecclesiastical vestments with wide sleeves are called surplices.
Surplice.
That is a word I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that word. It's the Surplice. Surplice.
I thought you were just saying surprise weird.
Right.
I thought it was too.
Yep.
So the plan was to turn over this plastic dinosaur in exchange for Kaitlyn and to walk out.
That's the plan as far as Kit knows it.
Yep.
Sela is concerned that the people she's handing it over to will immediately know it's fake, and so she's planning to hand over the real fake.
But take Kaitlyn.
But save Kaitlyn in the meantime.
Yes.
And Kit's expecting betrayal, which is why he was looking where Kaitlyn was. So he had assumed... I'm surprised. Kit's surprised that Kaitlyn's in the room with them. Because now his idea of sneaking off and finding her and just leaving is not going to work.
Nope. Okay. So, that little...
So y'all have just filed into this room, and then filing in behind you, and then standing uncomfortably close behind you is the three guys that we're following. And the door closes with another resounding boom. And up towards the front near the dais is a very tall, fair-headed man who has an additional, little streamers of gold on his surplice. And so he just immediately, just the way he bears himself and the slight decoration on his clothing immediately makes you think that this might be the guy in charge. And he looks over at y'all with some authority and motions you forward, Sela.
So, wait. Sela's been around the block a few times. Is this the steward?
No, it is not the steward.
Who is it? Do I not know?
You don't recognize this guy.
Okay. Well, Sela saunters up like she owns the place. And comes forward. It's like, you're not my client.
He says, I represent the steward in matters at this time.
I was not given that instruction. I work for the steward, not you.
All right. He gives you a look over. It's not exactly a glower. He just has a generally stern face, and so it's a stern look just by default.
I'm mean looking right back. I put on my best resting bitch face.
And he leans over to a guy at his right, and this guy seems a lot younger than him. And he says, "Go get the steward." And the younger person gives him sort of starts. It looks like he starts to say something, and then this time he does. The older man does glower, and the younger man stops his question before it even reaches his lips, and then goes and leaves the hallway, leaves the hall, which follows a period of awkward silence as the guy just sort of looks at you.
Sheila smiles. Just smiles at him. Like, good job, buddy. Doesn't say that, but she's like, that was the right choice.
We can go ahead and get Kaitlyn down, right?
We're going to make that negotiation here in just a minute.
Kit crosses his arms all gruffly and toughly and waits awkwardly for what happens next.
Yeah.
Does Kit look a little larger, broader than Kaitlyn remembers?
Slightly sexier, yes.
She,
More heroic.
Okay. Do I need to roll alertness to notice that?
No, it's all.
You need to roll.
Can we
this sort of
all roll
circumstances,
alertness in this room? Are we at that point now?
Go ahead. Sorry, Jared.
It would be investigation.
You don't want to investigate too closely. It's just sick.
I mean, yeah, it was a -1.
Then you totally convinced. It's this aura of like machismo. Sorry, I'm calling the shots for Jared.
You decide, Kaitlyn, that clearly you are so desperate for help that Kit is just looking more helpful than, you know, it's like your mind's making things up just to.
But I sure I was like, man, I need a good meal and some sleep. Oh, okay.
Desperate for something. I don't know if it's help. Bounce, wow, wow.
While y'all are waiting, the head guy sort of motions over to a couple people on the right, and they go and they start disassembling the ark, taking the 2 poles out and unfolding the things, revealing inside this strange chitinous rock. It's with this dull glossiness to it.
So you guys are having it's like a pretty big shindig here. I don't believe we've been properly introduced, sir. Not the steward.
Mr. Not my client.
Yeah.
And he just the guy just sort of looks at you, and doesn't smile, doesn't anything. He crosses his arms.
You don't even get a name? Come on, man. You got the gold tassels and everything. You have to be somebody. I'm sure you know who I am.
He says, "You've arrived on a momentous day, yes."
Well, ain't that something?
And
So
then he says, "You know, stick around and you'll see what I mean." And he seems to have amused himself a little bit with that.
Yeah, I don't know that this is my kind of party. Just saying. But y'all have fun with that. What was your name again? I don't believe I caught it.
And this time he does respond. He says, "Shoot, what happened to his name?" Oh, there it is. I'm looking in the wrong spot. He says, "Richard."
Well, hi, Dick.
Right? Yeah. I resist the urge to say that to him out loud.
Does that come from
Kaitlyn thinks
Kaitlyn
it in.
Hall?
No, she just thinks it in her brain.
Oh, bye, Jared.
Oh no.
That was one too many dick jokes.
That was the first one.
I was going to say that was
tonight.
the one. So
No, I made one earlier. She was desperate.
I missed it. Oh, desperate for. I was going all out sex, not
That doesn't
D.
necessarily count.
I
as a-
wasn't necessarily
I
desperate for
was
the D.
desperate for the D right there, and then
We're still live.
looking.
I know. Oh, I know. Hi. Oh no, he was back and then now he's not again. Oh, it was just getting exciting.
So, but seriously, how are we gonna get out of this, guys? Because like, run and gun is not gonna work.
And that's all Kit's got. So
I
I hope you guys have a plan.
My plan began and ended with stabbing this dude with that knife, with that,
Okay.
that sacred knife, and that was like the steward.
Okay, yeah. So anybody who has a skill with weaponry, I'd be happy to pass this knife off to that person. I'm good at that. I'm not good at wielding knives. So who is gonna be the best stabber?
I've got decent weapon skill, but I'm kind of and I'm kind of kitted out to use stuff like that, so I can.
Okay. I will be
Let's have
sure.
that.
What?
I got guns.
Yeah, guns is.
I don't have anything. I'm good at hiding and bullshitting.
Does
I'm
weapon?
good at praying.
That's not a skill.
I've got.
You'd be
I've got
surprised.
conviction and empathy and discipline. And my abilities are bless this house, guide my hand, and righteousness. I got my faith, guys.
Yeah, you're super, super faithful.
It's
I
gonna.
don't know how much
Can you
help I'll
bless
be.
the vampires and make them disappear.
Oh,
I mean,
technically, against Blackboard vampires, that's kind of a really good.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start praying if
Do
things
that.
start looking. I'm kind of like it's been a long night for me, but I'm kind of sussing out what's going on, and I'm gonna start. If things look like they're going south, I'm gonna start a praying.
Go Pentecostal
guys know.
on these people. Like, but yeah, so that's gonna be real exciting. Hey,
What we would need is a big distraction.
I can do that.
Like if we were to turn the steward into a pile of ash,
That'd be great.
and then
Run.
I'll run. Although we're gonna have to. Kaitlyn's kind of chained.
Yeah, we got to solve some other problems first. But maybe in coma is going to be good for distraction because I feel like he's got a Hulk rage type situation going on.
Yeah.
Well,
And
here's
he's
the other
expendable.
idea. Maybe our forgery is so good that it will pass inspection. They'll pay us with Kaitlyn, and then we can leave.
They're not going to pay us with Kaitlyn because the whole point of their deal is, and I didn't know this at the time, but the whole point of their deal is they're going to use Kaitlyn in some kind of exciting thing they got going on. But I'm going to try to make that happen.
No. But once they have the artifact, they can get another person anywhere. I mean, there's people literally everywhere, especially in Houston.
Doesn't Gideon think
That doesn't make him
Caitlin's important to this?
expendable.
Well, no, but it does give us an opportunity to get you out, and then when they go and grab the other person, we can get them
I
out.
don't know that Kaitlyn would be okay with that.
Well, Kaitlyn's not privy to that part of the plan, so it's okay.
That's true.
Kaitlyn is chained to a wall, and right now she's privy to that.
Yes. She
Unfortunately,
does.
And
there's only so much damsel in
She
distress.
does have an ability in her pocket that you guys might not know about.
Does it involve escaping chains or vampires?
No.
Damn it.
Now's the time.
This would be good.
I mean, I can pray, guys.
Pray.
Sela and Gideon are just
Just what?
I know.
with
We are just and
what?
righteous. That's what you're saying. We are just.
So while you guys are waiting around, sort of there, I'll go ahead and have that alertness check that Kit was asking about earlier.
Yay.
Good call.
Yay. And there was
Kit's-
much rejoicing.
Kit's ready for a fight. He's pretty certain he's going to have to fight his way out of here. Oh, it's a 1. These new handmade dice are not working out.
Oh no.
Did you make them?
Well, I bought a bunch of blank dice because it was cheaper than buying fate dice. and then I used Sharpie to make them fate
cool.
dice. They failed me.
Right.
I was gonna buy your fate dice because you posted about that, but now you say they suck. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
He was like, "What should I do with the rest of them?" I'm like, "You should sell them to us because we don't have any."
yeah.
I think I ended up with like
Um,
15 of the 60 that were usable. They didn't have some kind of crack or damage on them.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
But Amazon was kind enough to refund all the money,
That's
so
lousy.
I got 63 15 usable dice.
So I got a 4 on alertness. I don't know what good that does the party since I'm up on the wall.
I got a 3. Actually,
How about you, Gideon?
am I forgetting to add something? Wait, is this for the purpose of determining initiative?
No, it's just alertness check.
It's
Does
just
that matter?
alertness for now.
All right.
You get +1 or +2 on initiative, Sela.
No, I get +4 if it's for initiative.
Okay.
So yeah, because you're writing things down, which implies that.
I got a 1.
Just keeping a record.
Mm-hmm.
I got a rock.
Okay. All right. So there's a side door that Sela and Kaitlyn noticed someone. Gideon and Kit don't notice until the guys basically reach the dais. But can you guys still hear me because everything has gotten frozen?
Yes.
Yes.
And so a person comes out and he's carrying a bundle wrapped in this soft cloth, in this black cloth, and he's dressed in the same sort of white surplice that everybody else has been wearing.
Of joy.
And it doesn't quite seem like that. No, he comes up and he unwraps the bundle, and it is the artifact. It is the seed, and he sets it on the dice next to this, whatever it is, this sort of weird turd sculpture.
Any lead on what the turd sculpture may be, or whether or not they have the real seed? Can we do some kind of about that?
As you guys, I mean, that automatically draws everyone's attention, including Mr. Encoma. At least sort of looking at that seed, and as you do so, your eyes also start to draw over this strange object that's taking some sort of central role in the meeting here. And it's like you just start feeling the hackles rise on the back of your neck. And I'd like everyone to make a discipline check.
Good. I'm so great at discipline, guys. Y'all don't even know.
+4.
1.
How did you do that?
I also have a 1.
Oh, man.
I
have a
rolled a
1 as
negative
well.
2.
And I'm spending a fate point to get to 1.
But I will say that, like, he was paranoid, and so when she starts feeling her eyes being like drawn to something, she immediately stops looking at that thing and wants to start looking at everybody else because she's freaked, right? I don't know if I have to tag.
All right.
something.
What?
That's a thing.
I don't think your paranoid aspect's going to help you here, because what you do is you start feeling very paranoid about it. That's a 0. Where'd you go? Wrong one.
So when it comes to our time to act again, if we're all feeling hackled and paranoid, I'm pretty sure Kit's trying to kind of nudge Gideon a little bit and show him the gun he has in the holster that he brought down with him. And like, do you want me to shoot it? I will shoot it.
No, not right now. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so anyone who rolled less than a 5, which I think is all of you,
Yeah.
you don't know what this thing is, but it scares you. And you all gained a bit of a frightened of it aspect. It scares you, and Stila, you, as you mentioned, you immediately stopped looking at it, and it seemed the less that you looked at it, the more that it looked at you.
Okay. It
Gross.
looks at me.
Gross.
Yeah, Kaitlyn,
We're talking
you
about
start the moment you start.
right?
Yeah, it seems like an inanimate object, just sort of there. It's kind of looks like a little bit, but it's just a lump. It's one big lump. It's about super large suitcase size.
Jerry, quick question.
Kaitlyn, as you, yeah.
Are these the kind of consequences that can be avoided being taken by spending a fate point?
It depends on which fate point. And plus it depends on the roll. So you'd have to spend, if you were at a 1 just to get to a 1, you've got to spend another 2.
Gotcha. Just couldn't remember the rules. Thank you.
It's not. It's an aspect. It's a temporary. It's a maneuver that's been placed on you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Not entirely, but that's because I'm just not as familiar with the game. I'm willing to carry on.
So consequence would stick with you once you leave this room. This maneuver is just going to stick with you for a round or 2.
Okay.
So when Kaitlyn is frightened, her instinct is to pray.
And also, when you feel this dread, Kaitlyn, you suddenly put 2 and 2 together, and you realize this object is what was attacking Bud in the room.
Oh, I recognize its essence. Oh, I definitely start
it's
praying.
the same evil.
Yes, I definitely start praying. Would bless this house be a good thing?
No, I'm sorry.
No, okay.
But
I am praying.
If you'd like to give me a discipline roll to affect the maneuver of the fact that you're praying.
Sure.
I will take it into account.
Sure, yes. That will be a 5.
Okay.
I rolled.
I'll come back to that.
Great. Yeah.
So, just about the time that this terror is getting to about as much as you guys can handle, and you're about ready to run, the back door opens again with another boom, and in walks, dressed in a ratty old coat with tails, and the very gaunt and bald individual known as the steward. Clearly a Black Court vampire, if you know what to look for. His skin is pallid and in some places dry with corpseification, almost mummy-like, with his thin arms and flaky skin. And he comes in and just patiently walks his way up to join Richard, the apparent cleric in charge here, and turns to face the rest of the group and regards Sela, and he says, "Splendid, just absolutely splendid, my dear. You are so very welcome to be here." And he smiles a toothy smile. His teeth are all very yellow, not fangs, but definitely.
All due respect, I like to be on my way. I seem to have interrupted a really important party you guys are having, and I just don't fraternize with clients. It's bad for business.
And Mr. Richard over there says, you could have been on your way already if, and the steward cuts him off and says, Dick, please. Sela, you are my honored guest. You are making tonight's festivities possible. At least I do hope so. You are here bringing the item, yes?
I'm good at my job. But I want to renegotiate terms. I don't normally do this, but...
Dick seems to get kind of immediate. It's the first sign of actual agitation you've seen from him. The rest of the time, it's just been his typical glower. But at this mention of renegotiating terms, but the steward just looks on calmly, expectantly.
So, and she looks at Dick. Don't worry. I'm giving you a considerable discount. This didn't go the way I expected it to. This whole job was real strange from the beginning, and so I would like to renegotiate the terms. I don't want you to pay me at all. This is free job, gratis, entirely. All I want is that girl right there. You give me her, I give you this. We walk out. Y'all do what you need to do.
I start gesturing with my head towards Bud. Bud's in there. Is Bud in there, buddy?
Yeah, I don't give two shits about Bud. I'm sorry. I don't know. So, nope. Crazy homeless guy not coming with us. Sorry.
Pretty sure
he's not what we refer to as bargaining.
No, not taking him. I don't want him. I don't even want Kaitlyn, but Kit really does, and Gideon likes the Kit, and Sela doesn't know about any of this.
Well, we do need, we do need Kaitlyn. Caitlin's part of the.
Whatever you say, Gideon. I don't know, man. Like, I just do things. I steal stuff. That's what I do. But yeah,
and
so
the steward thinks this over.
The free job for you guys, and it's my fault. I'm sorry. Didn't go quite like I expected it to. I like smooth in and out. There was maybe you know about it. Kind of your distraction was real distracting. Just put it that way.
I think the word you're looking for is kerfuffle.
It was a kerfluffle. It was a whole bamboozle.
At least.
Yeah. I would say it was even a boondoggle.
That's fair.
I was there. Boondoggle seems right.
Load. And there's other stuff going on. I'm sure you're aware. You've heard about the whole pause, time out. Dude's name. Peter Balrog?
That name's right. Oh, yeah. Harbog.
Yeah. So you've heard about the whole Harbog deal, right? That's been a little tiny little wrench in my works. Little something happening out on the fringes might concern Sixth Court. Maybe you guys are way involved. I don't know. Thing. Anyways, I got things to do. I want to just get in, get out. Give me the girl. You can have the thing. I don't care what you guys do with it. Let's go. This one's on me.
So the steward's nodding the whole time, everything you say, and like when Harbog's name comes up, there's a little bit more vigor. It's like every point that you make, he's acknowledging with a nod, but then there's just this consistent metronome type nod the whole time, like it's just keeping track of, yes, you're talking.
Yep. Hey, buddy.
And Richard seems to be getting more and more agitated with each nod, and he's like, you're not really going to, and he holds up a hand and he says, she has a point. I do like free.
Free is a very good price.
It's hard. It's
I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the sound of that.
And so then the steward, he just holds out an expectant hand.
Get the girl off the wall. Open the door. This is not my first rodeo, sir. I am sure that we'll have a long and prosperous professional relationship, but only if I make it out of this room alive with all my friends. So
he says, speaking of making it out, did you actually make it out of the museum with the artifact, given the interruptions?
yes, I'm very good at my job.
And he motions to two guys, and they go and they start unshackling Kaitlyn, and they bring her forward a little closer, and then he holds up a hand before they let her go, and he says, "I'd like to see it."
I bring it out. And I do a gut check and decide to bring the real fake out. I'm not going to give him a plastic dinosaur that I'm making look like that. Like, I don't trust that. I'm freaked out. I don't want to die.
And you see his hands
They
start to move, but then they stop. And then his fingers, it's like, he's so excited that they're just quivering. And he goes, he says, I'm not taking it, but may I touch it?
No.
He says, I would really like to know that it's real.
I'm in a room full of Black Court vampires. I'm real uncomfortable right now. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Not saying you guys are off-putting, but there's the turd sculpture. I don't know, it's freaking me out. Like, I'm unhappy.
I step up and say, well, I can vouch for its authenticity. That's why she brought me. I'm kind of an expert on these matters.
Thank God.
So if you'll allow me to examine the item, I can give you my seal, my seal of approval on this, and we will be on our way.
He's like better than the Pawn Stars guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's really convincing.
It is.
He says, your word, wizard?
His assurances. I take everything to my friend Gideon because obviously it pays to have a friend like that in my line of work. Gideon says it's real.
I mean,
Sela, it seems like the steward has totally stopped listening to what you said, and he's very interested in what Gideon's saying.
Good.
I look around, like, is he talking to me? Because I'm not sure who you're. You mean wizard? No, I'm not a wizard.
Oh, I'm resisting the urge for Kit to pretend he's a wizard right now. I don't think you would.
And he says, he says, I'm sorry, I had you confused with someone else, possibly your father. He says, Mr. Gideon, do I have your word that this object is the one she took from the museum?
Even better, I am prepared to sign my name to a certificate of authenticity. And that would be for you to keep. As a matter of fact, you probably keep the two together so that if the question of authenticity ever comes up in the future, you can just prevent them this certificate, which is as good as money in a lot of circles, or is as good as the truth.
Y'all know I'm giving him the dinosaur when it comes down to it, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Clear.
And then Kip steps forward. We're all here for reasons. I'm here to. I'm the medic to assess the health of Kaitlyn there, and he starts walking towards her as if
he
he's
actually
going
raises
to
a good point. If this authentication process is going to take any very much longer, he should probably be given a chance to see to the
trade.
Yeah, the merchandise, the goods, just to make sure that they don't expire during our negotiations. Because then you would really be in a corner. You have your back against a wall, so to speak. Be in a quandary, if you will.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Gideon.
Disadvantageous trade situation.
Yeah, it's literally expiring as we speak. So
I give a pitiful little whimper and try to look faint. I pull an Elizabeth Swan. I can't breathe.
Kit's gonna walk right up to Kaitlyn unless someone stops him. Does anyone stop him?
I full on Elizabeth Swan. I can't breathe and kind of collapse.
The Rook says, that's good enough for me. And then he turns to everyone else and he says, everyone, we may begin. Seize them.
Nope.
No. I pop right back up.
You're at the top.
No.
Sela, you're at the top of the initiative with 7. What do you do?
Stab him.
Yeah.
With a wooden knife.
I do. I stab him with the wooden knife.
Where?
Okay.
Right.
So you're currently holding the artifact out in front of yourself.
No. He reached for it and I put it back. Nuh-uh. And he was like twitchy, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I know.
So you got your hand on that. You're now going to go for the full. You're going to go for the dagger of Friar Domingo's dagger to stab him with.
I'm going to get it handy for sure.
Don't waste your opportunity. Stab him.
If I can stab him, I want to. If I can't do it, then obviously I'm going to try to do something else. I don't know how the combat works because I've never, ever done anything combat-maneuver-wise. So can I do it?
So, yeah, I'm just asking because I feel like the circumstances and the sudden switch is going to possibly put you at a disadvantage on the roll.
Well, did he just basically say, okay, y'all, eat him? Eat all of them? Like,
seize them.
Seize them?
Seize them.
The deal is off? He
may have said seize them, but I heard eat them.
I heard season them.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear what a vampire means when he says, I'm going to put my hands on you.
Yeah, I'm real.
So the advantage of the dagger is that it should probably be able to cut through a lot of his defenses. The disadvantage is this is a sudden change of events, and you're currently holding, tucking away something else, and so I'm just saying it could possibly come back to bite you.
Steele is a professional pickpocket.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that kind of switcheroo is an ability she has. In fact, it's such an ability she even has an aspect to do just that sort of thing. It's called skills to pay the bills.
All right. So go ahead and give me an attack roll and pay me a fate point, and you can get +2 on it.
Yep. Okay. How do I do an attack roll? Because I don't actually have that as a skill.
It would. You're attacking with the dagger, yes?
Yep.
So it's a weapons attack. You don't have that skill, so there's no bonus added on top of your on top of the roll, aside from the +2 from your skills to pay the bills.
Okay, so I'm using skills to pay the bills. I don't get fists. I'm just all right. Okay. Whew. Not great, but it's not bad. I get the +2, right? That's a 5. Good enough.
We hope.
And
That's a 5?
Yes, it's a 5, and I've got inhuman speed, so maybe if it involves athletics or anything like that, casual movement. If I move in a zone, I don't have to take the -1 penalty. I got all kinds of things. Help me.
Stabby, stabby.
Just stab. Stab and run.
Okay, so you're tucking in the seed artifact, and then you're pulling out the knife, and you stab him full on in the chest. You move with such supernatural speed, he doesn't even have a chance. Oh wait, I guess he does have a chance to roll defense.
No, he doesn't. He does.
You already said no. There's no video replay.
It's not just a straight attack roll.
He was so fast, man. He said seize them, and he never saw this coming because we've already been checked. He's pretty sure we're clean. He definitely didn't see the Spanish Inquisition dagger. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition or his father Domingo's dagger.
So you have...
You probably didn't have that.
Oh, yeah. Does the dagger give me any bonuses? Like, it's a vampire hunting dagger. A legendary vampire hunting dagger.
Yeah, it does give you bonuses if you connect. So
you said
you make...
Take it.
That was... Don't hold it over my head that we haven't played this game for so long I didn't even let him roll defense.
No, fine.
I don't know. This seems like a pretty bad person, and we kind of want him dead.
We kind of need it. We need it.
So, Sela, you move faster than the eye can even really see.
Yes.
You're bringing this out. The dagger comes out, and you are a blur. All the humans in the room probably didn't even see you strike or would have been able to see anything. Moving that fast, you have that moment where you have the dagger hurtling towards his chest, and he's taken aback. He's surprised by how quickly you moved from your weird evasive talking and ready to run to a full-out assault with a frightfully deadly weapon. And you see that moment. You see that moment of realization in his eyes going... and it's at that point that you realize that as a master Black Court vampire, you have inhuman speed, and he has supernatural speed because he moves faster still and goes from the moment of surprise to his arm flicking up and catching your wrist and stopping the assault moments before the dagger would have gone into his chest.
Can I wrench it and get his arm?
That sounds like plot armor to me.
Yeah, it's not armor.
It's it's not though.
Okay.
It's I gave him actual Black Court vampire stats, and he's frighteningly fast. And so he stops it and he grabs your wrist, and it's with a vice-like grip.
Okay, look, this doesn't have to get real ugly. You just said seize them, and I don't like the sound of that. Let's go back to friendly negotiation.
And he says, but my dear, you never realized you were always part of the deal.
I rack him so hard.
Kaitlyn, it is your turn.
No, I kick him in the balls. It happened. I don't care if it doesn't hurt him. Probably doesn't have them anymore anyway. They fell off.
They desiccated themselves off the body.
Yep.
You would just
Kaitlyn, you had just fallen to the ground and heard him say, "Seize them." What do you do?
Pops up like toast.
I got distracted. I have a kitty visitor. I'm still chained up, right? Like,
no,
they were just holding me?
And they were just holding you, and as you failed, they sort of lost their grip. So probably with there's a couple different rolls you could do to try to wrench yourself free.
Sure, let's do that. Let's. You don't have very good fighty things, but I do have.
Can you pray so that I hit?
you could use fists or athletics, or I'd even take deceit.
I have the skills I have are alertness, conviction, discipline, rapport, context, empathy, craftsman, and endurance. And then I've got my abilities, which.
So it'd just be a straight roll.
Oh,
for
yeah.
you.
Okay, yeah. -1.
So it's a pretty poor attempt at breaking free. But fortunately for you, the guys holding on to you are doing a terrible job of doing so. They were shocked by your sudden feigning, and you actually, it's not pretty and it's not graceful on either end. There's a lot of sort of fumbling, but you break free of these guys.
Is that my only action this turn, or can I like run towards Kit?
Here.
Can I run towards Kit?
Yeah, you can run towards Kit. Y'all are basically in
door.
the same zone.
Get out! Don't run towards the vampire.
No, he's not a vampire.
There's not really much room to run out of where this sort of. I mean, it was too awkward to be sprinting towards the door. There's no way you'd make it past all the guys in white cloaked figures. White cloaked figures that are there. Particularly since you're just barely pulling yourself off the ground.
Right, and I've had a really rough night, and I'm like, I'm running to Kit.
But you can definitely get next to Kit.
Okay, cool.
At which point it's the steward's turn.
Okay.
Oh man, y'all are all dead.
We knew that before you rolled.
Kit does it. He's gonna get out of this alive.
All right.
Is Desperate Hour an immediate thing?
Sela, give me a fists roll.
Yep, I got that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're defending against the superb fists.
Okay, well, that's gonna be a 3.
All right. So, Quick is with his other hand and tries to kind of. He grabs your other hand, and he rotates the hand that you had, and he kind of pulls you in front of him. He's got the knife that you had facing forward at your side. That arm is locked behind your back, and he's got your other hand crossed with his arm locked over the front of your throat. So he's pulled you into a grapple.
But he's brought the knife closer to his own body. I'm still holding it.
Yeah, you're still holding it. It's closer to his own body, but it's facing the wrong way.
Well, right, but my wrist still works, right?
Theoretically, his vice-like grip is currently surrounding it.
All right.
And that brings us to President's. Not President. Richard's turn. Richard starts barking orders to the rest of the guys that are around here. But it seems like mostly he's kind of taken a surprise and isn't sure what to yell at them. And there's not any direct action. That the people start kind of moving forward, but they don't really know what to do. Kit, give me a fists or athletics roll.
Okay. Oh, much better.
Gideon.
That'll be a 6.
Gideon, give me a fists or athletics roll. And add 2.
+3.
All right. In coma. Okay. So the guys that were sort of around coming in next to Kit go to grab him, and Kit totally dodges around and grabs the back of one of their shirt and throws them at the guys that are charging at Gideon. And it's a comedy of errors going on there that they're basically bungling into one another. Gideon and Kit are still free, but there's a huge group that's filled the hall behind you, and the first numbers of those are reaching, and they come forward and they grab in coma. And there's like 4 of them that are grabbing his arms on either side. And then we'll go around the side here. And then it is Kit's and Gideon and Encoma's turn. Do y'all have a preference of which one of you goes first?
Not necessarily. Kit has a backpack of vampire hunting gear and a gun he wants to draw, but it can happen after the fisticuffs if desired.
I'm okay with whatever. Let's let Encoma go and see if he can get himself out of this pickle.
Okay.
Hulk smash. It's that time.
All right, Encoma. What is your might? Okay. So +2 on these guys. There's 4 of them. They had a pretty good roll. But Encoma is sitting there, and you guys just see, I mean, he's already a beefy-looking guy, but it's like his muscles double. He hulks out, and he just shrugs all of those guys off. And then he starts moving forward next to Kit and Kaitlyn. Gideon or Kit's next?
Go ahead, Gideon.
Okay. I'm going to draw my sword cane and try to sever the hand of the steward so that he can't continue to block that dagger. And I'm going to activate one of the casts of the special strike too.
Okay. It's right. I mean, he's holding both of his hands are pretty close to Sela.
That's okay. She's down.
I mean, I'll aim like mid-humorous. It's got to be kind of dry and dusty anyway, right?
Okay.
Well, not humorous. Sorry. Ulnar radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going up here at the elbow near her shoulder.
Yeah.
Because one of his arms is behind her, the other one's in front of her throat. So I don't think you're going for mid-section because that's where her face is. But you could get him pretty high up.
So he's already like grabbed her and got himself. From what I understood, he was still like kind of. It was in that same kind of moment where he grabbed the dagger, but.
So he had grabbed the dagger on the defense of her turn, and then he turned into on the other one. He grabbed the other hand and he sort of whirled her into a lock where he's got the one hand, new hand in front of her throat, the old hand with the daggers behind her back, and
So you should hack at the side of his body, not the arm that's holding me in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's specifically using her as a human shield. So
in that case, I am going to try to stick the pointing end of the sword all the way through one of his eyes and maybe like out the back as well.
Okay.
All right. So that might not do it.
Don't stab me.
Yeah, I'm going to call that, that's a +3.
So you make several attempts to stab him right through the eye, like you said, and every time you start to find the pathway, he flashes nearly to one side or another to where you'd be stabbing Sela through the face. And
so obviously
you have to
stop. Yeah.
So you stay your hand several times with these attempts, and it seems like despite this, you can't quite get a read on where he's going to be because he's moving too fast.
Okay.
Is he just manhandling me, or can I resist that?
He's just manhandling you with this.
Because he got to roll a defense. Just saying.
He's also, he's not just fast.
He's super fast, but he's got to move me, and I don't want to be moved.
Yeah, but he's also super strong because he's a master vampire or something.
I'm pretty slippery.
I'm not saying you shouldn't fall on.
Slippery, are you?
Oh, yes.
All right. Kit, it's your turn.
All right. So in watching this, I think Kit makes a beeline for the altar or dais or what have you, and does kind of a intentional shoulder check roll over the top of it to knock what's on there off.
The turd sculpture?
Turd sculpture and whatever else was beside it, and to take cover as well from people. And he's, hollering at Kaitlyn, "Stay close behind me," and drawing his gun at the same time.
Okay.
Just trying to make a big mess.
I'm a tag the fact that you're frightened of this object. Give you a fate point to try to bribe you not to do that.
No, I kind of want to do that.
All right, so you're willing to pay me a fate point to do it?
Yeah.
When you're frightened of something, you attack it. Seems in character.
Is that a typical Kit move?
I would think so. I think it's definitely part of, being a thrill-seeking treasure hunter. I think he's probably been in a few instances before where a cult has gotten a hold of an artifact or a piece of treasure that he's wanted. And one of the first things he would do is disrupt their calm by attacking their faith, so to speak.
I would say that Kit has been a bull in the china shop of our entire game. So, yes, this is totally characteristic Kit. Classic.
All right. Are you willing to pay me a second fate point to do it?
How did it get more expensive? But yes.
All right. So you paid me 2 fate points.
I paid you 2 fate points.
Tell me again what you just said that you're going to do to it.
So Kit, he's seeing this vampire, this very scary vampire. He feels the very scary sculpture thing that's got his hackles up, and he knows that this cult, or what he's thinking is a cult, is wants something to do with it on that altar. So he's pulling out his pistol, telling Kaitlyn, stick close behind me, and he's just doing like a combat roll, body slam against those artifacts as he goes over the top.
Hopefully knocking the turd sculpture to the ground and shattering it. That's the goal. He's the bowling ball.
Yes.
Okay. What is he wearing?
A jacket, some pants and boots.
And a backpack full of garlic.
Oh, and a backpack full of garlic and steaks and baseballs.
All right. So you're sort of like barrel rolling over this dice is what you're going for, and you're like shouldering the stuff in and rolling over with them, or are you like barrel rolling over and trying to pull them with you? I mean, what's
basically like the same way that you might clear a table by diving over the table into objects to push them to the other side. So he's rolling through and over with them. So
you're basically going to get a face full of turd sculpture as you go over.
I would assume it would be shoulder and hip.
Okay.
He's not going face first.
Give me an athletics roll.
Okay. That is going to be a 6.
Okay. The sculpture can't defend because it's just an inanimate object, and so I will say that as it falls onto the ground, it takes 6 stress in reflection of your roll there.
Stomp it! Stomp it!
And as you come into contact with it, and you're checking it, and bringing it down, and it hits the ground, you've got your gun in your right hand. I assume you're right-handed, yes.
Yep.
And that's the same side that you're shoulder checking, and you roll over with it, and your other hand, as you hit the ground, falls onto it. At which point, I would like you to make a discipline roll.
Two.
So apparently when it's getting hurt, it doesn't do as well. Still good. Oh, wait. Yep, still good. It rolled 3.
Wait, did the statue rolled?
The statue rolled.
And I've heard it.
Hit as your hand comes and makes contact with it. Suddenly you are filled with the most profound sense of fear you have ever had in your life. You have faced a lot of scary situations before, but you have never felt this terrified. In fact, you're so terrified for a moment that you actually lose control of your bladder.
Okay, hold on. I have more fate points left.
You were so terrified that the only thing you can think of is that you want to get out of the room where this thing is, that this thing will destroy you. And you take, let's see.
If I do spend a fate point, can I get to 4 and not be terrified?
Or can he not touch it? He spent 2 fate points to roll over this table and knock the thing off. Can he have fallen in such a way so that he doesn't land on it?
Nope. I will. Oh, let me see where it go. 2, 3. Okay, so it gives you a total of 3 mental stress.
Well, I don't have 3 mental stress. If I spend the fate point to get to 4, do I not take any stress?
If you spend a fate point to get to 4, yes, you won't take any stress. Okay.
I have 1 left. What a great...
So you feel that. You feel the frightening stuff, but you actually summon up things. First of all, it's that moment when you're like, wait a second, I am not going to wet my pants. This is not going to happen. Not here, not ever. I am a grown man.
Kit Rhodes does not wet his pants.
Kit Rhodes does not wet his pants because he touched some dang artifact. You know? And so this thing is frightening, and you also get this unsettling feeling that it's alive, but you're okay. And then it's Sela's turn again. She wants to wriggle out from the steward's grasp, I figure.
Yeah, or stab him. Really, she's open to those options. She really doesn't like restrained by a vampire.
You can try to get out with an athletics check.
Mm-hmm.
To wriggle out.
Okay, but we know that he's probably got a pretty good athletics check as well, right?
I lagged out on most of that.
Not necessarily. The bonuses he's getting are from supernatural traits. He may not actually. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, I get bonuses to my athletics check for my inhuman speed. So if I know that about myself, and I know that he has even more impressive speed than me, can I make assumptions that he probably has pretty good athletics check? Is that how he defends against this?
No, he's defending with his strength.
Oh, okay.
Can she have a bonus for the fact that he's actually trying to literally dodge my sword right now?
Yeah, there's that.
She could if your roll against his defense had been better than what it was.
Okay.
Okay, here's this. Sela remembers that she has an entire unopened pack of Skittles on her person that Gideon gave her very recently. And she hasn't even smelled it yet, like not open. And she's not willing to die without having the Skittles. She's gonna taste that rainbow, right? It's time. She's done with this. She's earned those Skittles. It's been a long day. It's been a whole bunch of bullshit. She's done.
Was your roll that bad?
No. I want it to be that good. In fact,
okay.
it was quite good. So my athletics check to get out. Do I get to? Oh yeah, I get to add that. So that's 5.
Okay. So you were saying that it was 3 without the Skittles?
No, I haven't added the Skittles yet. It's 5.
Okay, that's enough. You want those Skittles and you zip out. You don't need to pay a fate point to improve it. He only defended with 3.
But I want to nick him with the dagger on my way out because it's right by him and I'm moving. I'm getting out and I want to just. Because he tried.
Not in this system, and because he was basically trying to restrain you from that, and you got out of him, but you can't then attack him in the same turn.
Okay, then can I do? So I got away, right? He's no longer touching me, right?
Now you are so fast that you can move much farther than most other people having escaped.
So what I want to do is drop a veil and toss the dagger at Gideon on my way out.
You can't drop the veil, but you can toss the dagger to Gideon, and you can move probably about halfway down this hall.
Okay. Can I move up the wall?
I don't think you have spider climb.
I don't have spider climb, but I'm pretty fast. Can I just wall run, like parkour style?
Okay, that's how you're making so much distance. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So you're parkour styling over the group of people on the wall, and so you make it halfway down the hall. So you wriggle out. You just sort of drop straight down through him, like it's just like whoosh, this thing of air, and then you leap. And as you're spinning, you toss the dagger to Gideon, who I'll just have Gideon give me an athletics check, an alertness. Give me an alertness.
He was just trying to stab me in the face, so I winked at him right before this happened. Or he was trying not to stab me in the face. I should give him credit.
He succeeded in not stabbing you in the face.
For which I'm grateful.
What's your result, Gideon?
1 sec.
Fortnite.
It was athletics?
Alertness.
Alertness. Plus 2.
So Gideon expertly catches it because he totally knew that that's what you're about to do. And
it's all coming the whole time.
He never even takes his eyes off the steward. He just reaches his hand up and grabs it. As you start, the music starts to swell, and Sela starts wall running away because you got to look out for number 1. And then it's Kaitlyn's turn.
So I tried to. I noticed. I know what that thing is. I know that thing is what's caused me a night of hell.
You just saw you had run over to Kit, and then Kit had run over and knocked it off the dice, and he's tumbled behind it, and is actually started rolling towards where Bud is.
Okay.
Somebody shoot that thing.
I don't have any weapons.
Pray.
No. Kid asked you to stick close. Do you follow?
I mean, I don't not. But like you're on the, I'm not gonna like leap over the dais. I don't have any athletics to speak of, so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm looking around for something to try to smash that item. Is what I'm looking for. Or you know what? I'm gonna do guidance to see where I should, what the best thing. Guide my hand. I'm gonna do guide my hand. So that will guide my hands or my feet to take me where I'm most needed, and therefore useful. GM. So I'm gonna spend a fate point for that. How many fate points do I have?
You don't have to. Oh yeah.
Or I can roll and do my conviction. Is that how that works?
You've had plenty of time to be praying for guidance.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it that you're trying to accomplish?
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what's the best course of action is. Should I try to destroy that evil poop statue? Should I stay close to Kit? Should I run over and help Gideon? Should I book it? Should I go free my friend Buddy?
Okay, so you're looking for what to do.
Essentially, where am I best? Where am I needed the most? Like, where am I most needed?
The vampires want you, so you should leave.
Do they want me, or do they just want everybody?
Dick was very mad when he thought you were leaving.
Hey, you're running. You no longer have.
I can't tell you this, but like you did remember that Dick was very upset.
So, Kaitlyn,
Kaitlyn does not have that much experience with Dick, but okay.
Kaitlyn, you were praying, and then the next thing that you saw come into this room was Kit. And then the next thing that happened is they brought you towards Kit, and Kit walked towards you, and he said to come with you, and you just feel like that's where you need to be right now.
Okay.
And so you start to head that way, but you're also filled with this righteous fury against whatever that thing was that tortured Bud.
Yeah, I am. I hate that thing.
As you start to follow after Kit, you notice the side of a piece of the ark. It's like one box itself is made out of this kind of mahogany wood. And you're just filled with this righteous fury. I'll let you roll conviction instead of might to try to lift it up over your head and break it on the dais.
Yes, that is what I want to do. Conviction. I got all the conviction. Oh, 3.
Good enough.
Oh, good.
I mean, you're still pretty weak from the harrowing.
The night of
affair
no food.
you've had. Yeah. And so it's not so much, I mean, it looks pretty impressive as it goes over your head. It looks less impressive as you and it kind of fall onto the dais, but you smash it.
Dolphin dive.
I mean, and you end up
fall with it.
Yeah, you sort of fall with it, and you end up standing over this thing, and you were holding a really sharp shard of this thick wood. from its own container.
I know what I want to do.
What happened to the rest of my dice? Oh, they're stuck in there. Come out!
It'll be great if
Okay.
Kaitlyn kills all the vampires and basically rescues herself. And we didn't need to be here.
Steward seems...
I would not. I would have been bound.
We got her out and chained. That's true. Sheila did. It's girls rescuing girls here.
Well, it's one girl running away, and the other girl attacking the
She did her
sculpture.
part.
I'm running away from a vampire that was definitely going to bite me next turn. I mean...
And you've super distracted him. He's not sure. I mean, he's heard this big clatter behind him, and he's whirling to see what that is, and he's seeing you rush off. And there's this moment where he's not sure which thing to do. And then...
That's what I do.
Again, he's got this super speed going on. And so... he manages. He sort of starts to chase after Sela. Stops, yells at the guy, yells at everyone, grab her, and then runs back over to behind the dais and picks up the other seed artifact and jams it into the sort of like weird clay monster statue thing.
Wait,
he like literally jams it in into
turd
the
thing, which is on the floor and rolling towards Buddy.
Yeah, well, it crunched onto the floor. It's not rolling around.
You said it was moving towards Buddy. I heard it.
Kit. I said Kit was moving towards Buddy. Kit.
So
Kit, not it.
He just shoved a plastic dinosaur inside the turd thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
He just shoved one of the artifacts, the one that Encoma said was the real one.
Oh yeah, I haven't given him the plastic dinosaur. I didn't give him anything.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? How did this go so wrong?
It's the thing they already had.
I spent a bunch of faith points to ruin everything.
Okay, so it's not the artifact.
No, they always had the artifact according to Encoma, but maybe,
that's right.
Yeah, maybe it's not real.
Kaitlyn, roll fists or athletics to defend against Peter, who comes around the corner, and I'm sorry, Richard.
Peter Hallbrog?
No, excuse me, Richard. Richard's last name is Peters.
No, let's president. Let's make an executive decision that Richard's last name is Nixon.
I don't know. Dick Peters is too good.
Yep.
Peters is real good, but he's the president.
So where do I find? I don't have athletics. Do I have fists?
Do you have either of those things? I don't think so.
Holding
Probably
a
not.
large steak.
The good news is he didn't roll particularly well. He's attacking you with +1.
Okay, so do I just roll?
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's a tie.
More than one, and you like slap him in the face, right?
It's a tie. It's a 1.
It's a 1. So a tie is enough that he gets a maneuver that, and the maneuver is that that he sort of connects and dazes you a little bit, which is something that will mark as an aspect that you're a little shocked. It's kind of the first time in a long time you've ever been struck in the face. It was like he was trying to grab you, and he missed you, and it just like slugged you right in the side.
Did you say the first time in a long time since I've been slugged in the face?
Yeah, because you've been out on the streets. You've been hit in the face before.
Sure. That makes sense.
And then, excuse me 1 second. Da 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 da.
We're all gonna die.
Yup.
That's alertness, and so that would put him at a 2.
Isn't it like Hulk's turn?
But sugar, we're going down swinging.
Right?
All right. It's at that moment that Bud let him, and the shackles that are on his arms, he starts to chase after. He starts to go to defend Kaitlyn, and the shackles that are on his arms just come right out of the wall, and you see that like the metal's been degraded from disuse, and it just comes right out. There's nothing it could have done to hold him onto the wall. Why are my dice sticking in here?
Because you're only supposed to be rolling with 1 dice as the GM, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it works? And
Unless it's Hobo Buddy, then he gets all the dice.
It's Hobo Buddy. Unfortunately, he's so enraged that he just sort of like starts doing haymakers over the dice. He doesn't actually connect with Mr. Dick Peters.
He doesn't have to. He can Kratos God of War that nonsense with the swinging chains.
But he's so upset by the fact that Dick just slugged Kaitlyn that I'm actually going to invoke the fact that Kaitlyn reminds him of his daughter, and so he does connect, and he does a wild haymaker right across the cult leader's face. And then all of our cult guys are gonna go. That's a 0. They don't touch in coma. Gideon, roll athletics.
-2.
Come on, old man.
All right, that's just enough that you're being harried by these guys, and so that's an aspect, being harried by cultists, that I can use on attack or defense rolls against you. Just FYI.
Didn't he just catch the scariest knife ever, though?
I'm sorry?
He just caught the scariest knife ever in front of all of these jokers like it was nothing. He's super impressive right now.
He is super impressive. And in fact, he's still super impressive because there's like a half a dozen of these guys trying to grab him, and they keep not grabbing him.
Sorry, I'm trying to help.
he's having to dodge it, though, and so that's taking some of his concentration. But they haven't. I'm not saying he's been grabbed, because he has not. And then it is, in fact, Encoma's turn. Goodness, Encoma is just out of it today. He is rolling poorly.
He's working for that damn collector.
Yeah, Kid is like, yeah. I know. I notice he's not pulling his weight over here.
I knew it.
Maybe Encoma just needs a reroll. He's got
you feel like it. Encoma's come up behind. He is now ganging up on the cult leader with
Buddy.
With Buddy, because he seems to be coming to the defense of Kaitlyn. That seems to be his priority, and that brings us to Kit.
Let's see. So I think Kit kind of, the poop statue's all busted up, right? And it has this thingamabob on it now?
I mean, it's got that thing going down in the middle of it. It made quite a loud crunching sound. You think you can see some like cracks, kind of on the superficial cracks from where it hit the ground.
But the vampire wanted that thing inside the hoop statue.
Yeah, he lodged it down pretty deep into there.
Kick it out.
He's standing next to and over you at the moment, Kit.
Okay. I think can Kit see, or has he got an angle on the attackers harrying Gideon?
No, Gideon's on the other side of the dais from you.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want to start shooting at him.
Well, yes. That's what I meant. Line of sight to shoot at them.
You can stand up and start shooting that direction. Wild shots into a crowd of mortals.
Yeah. Okay.
They're vampire thrall, aren't they?
Well, I guess we're about to find out because Kit's going to shoot them. But, I mean, he stands up and takes aim, seeing that they're closing in on Gideon while shouting basically to Gideon, like, cut the head off the snake and the body will die. Like, get him.
All right.
He unloads towards the group, trying to create an opportunity for Gideon.
So are you trying to kill any of these guys, or are you trying to remove that by causing them to duck and cover?
It's more duck and cover. I mean, Kit's really just trying to open up an opportunity for stabby on the big baddie.
All right. Go for it. Guns.
It is going to be a 3.
All right. That's good enough. You start shooting with your revolver, and a couple shots, and the cultists just start ducking. And Gideon's got an open pathway. They're not grabbing at him anymore. And so it's Gideon's turn.
Okay. Can I reach the vampire of the?
Yep.
Steward? Okay, I'm gonna run up to him and stab him with the dagger. I'm gonna cast Subito Strike on him, to do it, and that's a rote spell. So that's 1 mental stress at least, right?
Yeah, it's 1 mental stress to cast. Did you not put Subito Strike as like part of your? It's currently your enchanted item, I thought, with your Sword King.
Well, the Sword King is enchanted to cast it, but I can still cast it without it. I mean,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So to cast that like normal, I make a discipline check.
Yeah, discipline to target. Okay. Oh no, you don't have to roll discipline because it's a rote.
Automatically goes off at a certain level, right? Is it 4?
Yeah, it goes off at
3. At my conviction, right?
Right. It goes off at your base conviction.
Yeah. Okay. So it goes off at 3 automatically.
So it adds 3. It adds 3 to your weapons attack, basically.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So
and you take 1 mental stress to do it.
Right. So that is a +4 to hit.
Okay. And he has. All right. So, man, you rolled not so great, did you?
Well, yeah, +1 on the rolls. The rolls been kind of bad late tonight.
All right. So he defended with a 4. So that's enough to put a maneuver on him. Is there any particular you would like?
Yeah. Can I have him? What would you call it? I don't know. Make him more just make him more vulnerable for the next one, I guess.
Can you make him take the thing off the other thing?
I don't know.
I bet that's going to be a problem. Pretty sure.
Could I spend a fate point to add 2 to the roll? I guess now that I know the outcome is probably not a good idea, or not kosher, but.
Yeah, generally you'd want to do it before, but I'll let you do it.
Okay. So, see, down to.
So that'll give it.
Yeah, give it +2.
Or all right. And actually, before you do that, if you want, I'm thinking over the rules here. If you connect with them and you're using a dagger, the dagger has a weapon rating, so you actually do damage to him in that case. But the dagger's weapon rating is your sword's a 2, right? It's been a while since I've looked at weapon ratings.
Yeah, I think so.
So the dagger would be a 1, so that would only be 1 stress on him. It would be, and then if you want to use a fate point, you'd increase it to additional stress.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So he takes a 3 stress hit. Your dagger kind of you go for this sweeping uppercut, and he goes to move out of the way, and you still catch him pretty good on the shoulder a little bit, and it slices through his undead skin, and he hisses at you, and you've definitely got his attention. And that brings us to Sela again.
Okay. So he just hit the guy with the dagger, right? He landed a punch.
Yeah, landed a dagger strike. He hasn't put on any permanent consequences yet, but
right. Kaitlyn is entangled with Dick, but not she's not pinned or anything, grappled, nothing like that, right?
Yeah, and Dick is also currently being harried by both Encoma and Bud.
Encoma is also pretty free to maneuver, and Kit is still rolling around next to the turd statue.
He's standing behind the dais, firing pretty wildly into the crowd.
Firing. Oh, that's right. Kind of.
In fact, one of his bullets sort of ricochets off a wall and skips right past you.
Right. So, Sela launches off the wall back in that direction. She just wanted to get out of the way, but now she's being shot at. So,
sorry.
You're not sorry. It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. Sela launches back in that direction, and as she launches off the wall, she throws down the cloak, right?
Okay. So give me your deception roll to establish the difficulty of that.
That's a +6.
All right, that's pretty good.
Rolled well.
So you stealth yourself. It's going to be. Oh no, you got the speed, so it doesn't take any points off of you to continue moving after you do that. So you move back over towards them.
Yeah. So she just moves in that direction and kind of wants to get in the thick of it without anybody knowing where she is.
Right.
Hang out in the shadows to render aid where it's least expected.
Yeah, she bounces off the wall, lands on the ground, and then she's gone. And nobody knows where she went to.
And if she actually hit somebody in the face with her high heels on the way down, I mean, that happened.
Yeah, this one guy's screaming and he's got a bloody nose. One of these guys, his surplice is completely stained, and it's going to require a lot of hydrogen peroxide to get that out.
I'm excited about that.
And then it's Kaitlyn's turn.
Hi.
Hi.
So I've got a piece of wood in my hand.
The cleric had tried to, Dick had tried to grab you, and he punched you across the face. You're a little dazed from that.
I'm a little dazed because he did strike me. He did strike me. He connected. I'm a little dazed.
And Bud has now placed himself between you and that guy, and there's another big burly black man in a suit.
Right.
Coming up behind them. So he's kind of taken care of, and you're left standing mostly, and then the steward is engaged in combat with this other older gentleman in a kind of old-fashioned suit. and so their attention is drawn away. Kit is just to your right, shooting bullets into the crowd. And beneath him is this turd statue, and you're standing there with your splinter of the arc.
Is the steward's back to me? Like, could I get to his heart through his like up through his ribs, through his back, like to the side of his spinal cord?
If it isn't, he will drop her veil and stand right in front of him.
It is, but a moment ago as you're trying to shake off the days. A moment ago, you've been praying for guidance, and the steward is problematic. He's the one who brought you here, but as you look from him and then you look down, you feel more like you should stab this thing on the ground.
The poop statue. Okay.
Yeah, the thing that had been attacking Bud.
Sure. I have vast reservoirs of hatred for this object. And hate is something, wrath is something that Kaitlyn does not do. So this is very different for her. So yeah, she's gonna stab that statue.
All right, just give me a straight up roll. Tell me what you end up with.
I'm gonna spend a fate point to either re-roll or add to it because I rolled a 0.
It would add +2.
Okay.
Re-roll, you can do everything, but I think +2 probably statistically is your better bet.
Yeah, let's do a +2 then. All
right. So you bring this thing down, and it just slices right through the crusty exterior of this thing. And
wait, rusty.
There's no real, there's no real reaction that you see of this object, but almost every opposing person's in the room, you now have their attention once you've done this. The steward turns, a little bit. You hear Dick gasp in frustration, and a couple of the people that are trying to round on the dais, they just look like their eyes grow the size of saucers. And you inflict I'm gonna say 3 stress on it.
Okay, yeah, no, I've let out this primal scream as I do it, and I twist the shard for good, the splinter for good measure. Because
So interestingly enough, the steward he sees that happen and he whirls and he goes to attack you.
No. Okay. Well, fair enough.
You have the stick still.
On his fists are. All right, so he comes at you with a +4 attack.
Ow.
And you don't have any athletics, right? But that would be the typical defense roll.
No, I have endurance.
And that's good. That gives you more stress to take this hit after he hits.
Because that's gonna hit. Because I rolled.
What'd you roll?
A -1.
Oh, that's real bad.
Because he also rolled really high.
Well,
right?
No, he didn't roll terribly high, but he rolled. It was a great attack, +4. His inhuman claws add another stress, and the difference is between 4 and -1 is 5. So that's a 6 stress hit.
Right.
Can Sela drop and distract him in the moment of his? Can she attempt to create a distraction by kicking him in the face? She's right there, and she's invisible.
No, you just got there, and so you haven't yet gotten into position to fully act.
Okay. So I have a question.
Yeah, let me
a rules question.
Kaitlyn's sheet so I can.
Yeah, she does not have 6 physical stress.
No. So what you're gonna have to do?
It's desperate hour, right?
Well, desperate hour you can call for when someone's about to take a much more extreme consequence than this.
Oh, is that not extreme? Pardon me. I thought that was extreme.
It's decently bad. So it's is what's probably going to have to happen. That'll take 4 stress, and then 2 physical stress goes onto the track.
Okay. Okay. Because it says severe or extreme consequences. So
right.
This is not. This is moderate.
Now, if you want to definitely use desperate hour at this moment, you could take all 6 as the severe consequence.
Okay.
And that would trigger that.
But since I would just make this a mild consequence because it would be the 4 and then the -2.
See yeah, you could take a moderate and mild both, but what I would actually do is take 2 physical stress on your stress meter.
Right. Yeah.
You have 3 there that can take things.
Yeah.
And then that just leaves 4 for the moderate, and you still have the mild open.
Okay, cool. That's what I'll take a moderate consequence though, which does not invoke desperate hour. So I still have that in my pocket.
Okay. So this moderate consequence is actually a pretty. It's not like you're going to bleed out immediately, but he went right for your throat and kind of for the jugular.
Sure.
And so he's
carotid.
So he misses the carotid because that would be pretty extreme.
Sure, fair enough.
But he gets you in the neck, and you're pretty much bleeding, and this claw gash goes all the way across your chest, and it's this deep gash that runs from one side of the neck all the way down, and he just splits that over, and so I'm gonna write deep gash.
Yes.
And as he does that, you've still got this stake, that this makeshift stake had created this, had jabbed into the thing on the ground.
Yeah.
And as that blood starts to fall, it drips down onto the stake, and it drips down into the crack you just made, and you actually see the holes starting to fuse back together, and like the cracks go away from the blood falling onto it.
Staunch the blood.
That's where we'll end for tonight.
Staunch it. Staunch it. No.
Curses.
Indeed. I'm
It's okay.
Neck wounds, man.
It's really okay.
You'll be all right.
No.
All it's going to take is a little time.
Which she doesn't have.
Time is not on our side. No, it's not. All right.
Good job, pun. Good pun job.
It's not good. I was with you on that.
Good night, everybody.